Hi guys, it's Lori the Frugal Mom, and I am here with you with my second cookie recipe for the holiday season. What I have here is ingredients to make sugar cookie dough rather. So this is a delicious recipe. It comes together easy and quickly, and this comes from the Food Network. It's Alton Brown's sugar cookie recipe. What I have in my mixing bowl is a cup of granulated sugar and 1 cup of unsalted butter. I have 3 cups of flour and a half a teaspoon, actually no, 3/4 of a teaspoon of salt, sorry guys, and a teaspoon of baking powder, and I mix those all together. I'm going to cream together my unsalted butter and sugar, and then I am going to add 1 egg, a teaspoon of vanilla, and then I'm going to start to incorporate my flour mixture. And then after that's all incorporated slowly, I'm going to add a tablespoon of milk. Any milk you have on hand will do. They do say that you should beat the egg. It's a large egg too, by the way. But in my experience, guys, it really doesn't matter. I mean, you're going to be beating this this mixture, you know, quite vigorously with your KitchenAid. Maybe if you didn't have a stand mixer, maybe then that would make a difference. But to me, it never does. So, you know, if you want to beat it, go ahead and do it. But for me, I've never needed to do it and it hasn't made a difference. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to double this recipe, but for time purposes, I'm just going to show you 1 recipe. So, since I don't want to be on camera because it's very early in the morning and I have the world's worst bedhead, I will come back and I will show you what it looks like when it is all mixed up. So then after this is mixed, guys, then you have to take your batter out and it's going to form a nice dough on the hook usually. And you're going to put it in some wax paper or some saran wrap, whatever you've got handy, and you will put it in your refrigerator and let it chill for 2 hours. Otherwise, it'll just be too soft and sticky to work with. So that's why I'm doing it so early, and I will be back. I'm going to go mix up all this stuff for you. So this is what it looks like when your wet ingredients have all been creamed together. The sugar needs to go for maybe like another minute because I just scraped down the bowl. So I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to start to add in my dry ingredients. So I will be back afterwards, okay? Okay, so I have all of my flour incorporated, and I'm just going to stop this for a second. And it's made a nice ball rather, but you see there's still some mixture on the bottom, so I'm just going to take my my scraper and I'm just going to incorporate all of that. I'm just going to mix it for another minute, and then I'm going to turn it down on some wax paper, and I am going to flatten it and put it in the refrigerator to set for those 2 hours. Like I said, I'm going to double this recipe. I have in the past doubled it all at one time, but in my experience, it's a little bit too much for this size bowl. So I have 2 bowls. Here's my other clean bowl. So I am going to use my second bowl just to give myself some peace of mind, not make such a mess. And it comes together fast, as you guys can see. So I'm going to go and get all those goodies from the bottom. Then I'm going to mix it again for another minute, and then I will be back. Okay guys, so you see the consistency that you have here? Everything is now up off the bottom and the sides of the bowl. I'm going to stop it so you can see. See, I got it all off the sides and the bottom of the bowl. And it's basically made like one ball all around the paddle attachment. I'm now going to take out my dough. I'm going to put it in some wax paper, you know, make a little package with it, and put it pretty flat, flatten it with my hand like so, just so it's not so dense, it doesn't take so long to cool. But usually I do it in about 2 hours. So I'm going to go do that, and I will show you that. So now my dough is nice and flattened, wrapped in some wax paper. You could use parchment if you want for these purposes. I find that wax paper works a little bit better. It's also more cost effective. As you can see, everything is out of the mixer bowl. And in case I didn't mention, you want your butter to be room temperature. not room temperature really, but soft and butter you want to use. Otherwise it'll be a mess, it'll be chunky. You don't want to really melt it because it'll be not really the right consistency to make a beautiful dough like this. So I will come back when our dough is chilled. I'm going to go mix up another batch, and I will see you guys shortly. So I made a classic YouTuber mistake, and I forgot to show you what these look like after they chilled. So here is the last half of the dough. You can see that it's nice and firm, and I've taken the liberty of rolling some out, and I have one right here. I'm going to make a Santa shape, and I will take you over to this side, and this is where I have my prepared cookie sheet, and I will show you what they look like when they're done. So here they are after they've baked for 7 minutes. Well, everybody's oven is a little bit different. So I bake mine for 7 minutes, otherwise they would come out a little bit too brown. Because my oven runs a little bit hot. And you can use royal icing on this should you like to. You can pipe them, you can put sprinkles on them, some frosting. I personally like to do holiday M&Ms. I find it's the easiest. My kids have liked this since they were little. Sorry about my shaky camera work. So that's what I do. So you're gonna do this. Well, if you're gonna use M&Ms, you're gonna do this. Sorry about my sniffles, guys. Right after they come out of the oven. That way the heat from the cookies in the sheet pan, it helps your M&Ms stay on. Now, if you have any that fall off, what you can do is then just use a little bit of vanilla icing and kind of glue it on and let it dry, and it'll stay. But for the most part, they stay in. Oops, I like to alternate the colors. So they don't have to be perfect. They're still pretty. You want to work quickly before they cool too much or they'll stick to the pan. So I'm just going to finish these up, and then I'll be back. So here are our finished sugar cookies, and depending on, don't mind my glass plus, I'm not trying to be funny like some of those videos and it's not open. I was cleaning the windows that are above the table earlier. Anyway, I digress. So depending on the size of the cookie cutters that you use, you will get various amounts, different amounts of cookies. So I got 69 cookies with this batch. There would have been 70, but one of them broke and I let Steve have it. So that's a pretty good amount of cookies, enough to share. And these will last about a week to 2 weeks in a very tightly sealed container. I like to layer the cookie layers with wax paper. It keeps them even fresher for longer sometimes. So that is this recipe. I hope that you've enjoyed it. Please feel free to share, like, and subscribe. And I look forward to seeing you guys in the next one. Sending love from New Jersey.